Good evening, Fernwood. My name is Neil, and thank you for joining me for the start of week 13 of my journey through the subversive 70s soap opera Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Let's do a little bit of a recap. Tom and Mary have some strain in their relationship, though Mary has sought out the help of sex therapist Mona Mackenzie. Tom and Mona have hit it off a bit, and Tom actually does know now what a sex surrogate does, so that's maybe a little less sketchy than I had previously thought. Mary has no idea, though, what a sex surrogate does, so I think there could be some crossed wires and maybe some potential bad feelings. I guess we'll see how that goes. Kathy is now going out with Dennis Foley, though Dennis has held on to the feelings that he has for Mary. Of course, Kathy has inspected that, just scratching the surface of that, but she's willing to still go to bed with him. At least that's what it looked like the last time we saw them. And then, well, there is Loretta and Charlie, whose relationship has got some extra weight put on it because Charlie's ex-wife Muriel has come to town and is visiting with them. Now, the two of them seem to be at a little bit of a split because Loretta and Muriel seem to get along pretty well, but Charlie has been told straight up from Muriel, words out of mouth, that Muriel intends to break up their relationship because she wants to ruin his life. I'm sure there are other things that could come up, but in the meantime, we have a new technical thing. I have discovered a slightly different source for the episode, so I'm going to go with that for now, and hopefully that will work better for me because, I'd love to reduce the amount of time I'm editing. This, then, is the March 29th, Monday night episode from 1976. Let us begin.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! Don't run, Heather! You just ate! Heather! You'll throw up again!
It must be the tension in this house.
Heather's okay.
No, throwing up is her way of telling us how upset she is.
Nah, she just ate too fast, that's all.
Tom, she has not thrown up since she had that part in the operetta last October when the rain disintegrated her costume. I should never have made it out of crepe paper.
Honey, look. Heather's okay. Don't worry about her. I'm telling you, she's okay.
Really? Do you really think so?
Yeah.
I'm just so worried that she's going to get, marred and scarred because of what's going on between us.
Please don't worry about her, okay? You're the one who's upset. And I don't want you to be upset. Believe me, everything's all right. Believe me.
Tom.
What?
Something's wrong.
What are you talking about, huh?
Look at you. You're holding me.
So what's wrong with that?
Why are you being so warm and tender and understanding? I just can't help wondering.
What?
I know, I just can't help wondering if Mona has something to do with it.
Mona? You mean your best friend from school? You mean Mona, the sex therapist?
That's the only Mona I know.
Well, why should Mona have anything to do with it?
She was here last night.
Yeah? And you let me be with her all alone. Then you had that phone call. I've been meaning to ask you about that. What was the family crisis, huh?
No, it was nothing.
Huh? Look, let me ask you a question, okay? I want you to tell me the truth. Do you really think that we need a sex therapist who also happens to be a surrogate, huh?
Oh, Tom, that's just a professional term. It's like flexible.
Oh, honey. You just haven't been very happy, have you?
I haven't?
No. I just want you to know if you're so unhappy that you have to go to such an extreme,
What extreme?
Well, honey, you know what she does. I mean, she said you did. And, if you feel that, you have to have that kind of thing to help your wife.
Help us, Tom. Help us.
Okay, help us then. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll go along with her any way you want. I'll cooperate. I'll do anything she wants me to do. How's that?
You will do that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's wonderful. Just except for one thing.
What's that?
You seem so eager.
I'm not eager, honey. I'm just trying to help you with your problem.
My problem?
Yeah, your problem. Honey, look. Look, I'll cooperate in any way I can, okay? I gotta go to work now. I don't want to be late. I don't want to get any more demerits, you know?
Tom,
What?
just how are you going to cooperate with Mona?
Any way I can, honey. Anyway. I'll see you later. Oh, my hat. My God, I forgot my hat. Hand me my hat, will you?
Yeah.
I'll see you.
Yeah. Hello, Mona. Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Fine. Oh, yeah, and you? Oh, good. Listen, Mona, I really have to talk to you. No, not on the phone. Oh, could you? Oh, thank you. I would just really appreciate that so much because, Mona, I think that there's something that I didn't get quite straight the first time around.
Finally.
You think this is one of my casual crushes? You're wrong. It is the real thing.
Oh, Kathy, I mean, I feel so responsible for this. I mean, I know we haven't been close because of, our difference in years, but you're my sister. I mean, I love you. Don't get involved with Dennis Foley.
Why not? Hey, I'm beginning to think maybe you're still interested in him yourself.
I'm not. Huh? What made you say that?
Because of the way you're acting.
Kathy, I just don't want you to get serious about him, that's all.
Well, why not?
Because he's not serious about you. That's why. He's not. I mean, he thinks of you as, like you're a nice kid. And if you expect more from him, you're just going to get hurt by him.
You're wrong. You are so totally and absolutely wrong. I wish you just could have heard some of the things that he was asking me the other night. I mean, then you would see how totally wrong you are.
What? What was he asking you about?
You.
Me?
Yeah. Now, why would a guy ask about a girl's sister and her family if he didn't want to be part of it?
Oh, Kathy, don't talk that way. Don't you see what he's doing? Think!
You mean he's asking questions about you because he's still interested in you? Well, I suspected that. But that makes it a little bit more exciting.
What?
Well, men have always been attracted to me, and I guess it's like a special something that I have. Well, don't laugh. And so there's no challenge. And that's what I'm feeling with Dennis, a challenge.
I'm so confused.
Listen, you see, I am attracted to men who aren't interested in me. And the less they're interested in me, the more I'm attracted to them.
Really?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're attracted to Dennis because he's attracted to me. I wonder if he's attracted to me because I'm not...
What?
Oh, it's nothing. Kathy, listen to me. I love you. Stay away from him.
Mary, I love you. And, that's good advice. I think I'll play hard to get. Boy, this is getting more exciting every minute. And I really want to thank you. And I've got to run. And I'll see you later.
Something tells me I'm not getting through to her at all.
Charlie, honey, if there's something so wrong with Muriel, why don't you just tell me what it is?
Well, it's a long story, honey.
Honey, you keep saying that, but you don't do anything about it. Now listen to me, if you just tell me what it is, instead of looking at that staircase like some big cobra snake gonna come slithering and hissing down.
Honey, I'm glad you said that, because that's just exactly the way I feel. I feel like she's the snake in our Garden of Eden.
Bless her heart. Charlie, how can you say something like that about that sweet little sad, kind of pathetic woman upstairs asleep?
That's another thing, honey. I wish you hadn't asked her to stay here.
Charlie, you know something? I mean, I think you're protesting pretty much, hon. I mean, it's like the man says, when you make mountains out of molehills, sometimes you're to look at the other mountain.
What does that mean?
Well, what it means is that I think, well, I got this sneaking suspicion that lurking somewhere real deep in your heart, you still got feeling for Muriel.
Oh, no, honey, no. It's just not that way at all. Honey, it's just that some things are hard to tell because they're hard to believe. You know, like believe it or not, Ripley, and sometimes you don't. Because truth is stranger than fiction. And there's a true thing that happened between Muriel and me, which is so strange that even Ripley would be hard put to believe it.
Honey, there is nothing that you did that could be that bad. Now, I know you're the sweetest, darlingest man, kindest in the whole wide world. There could be nothing that bad for you to be ashamed of.
I'm not. I didn't do anything to be ashamed of. That's what
Well, come here. Just tell me, okay? Now, come here. You just tell me what it is, and you're going to feel a lot. You get it off your chest, you'll feel so much better, really.
Well, see, after Muriel and me had been married just a few months, her daddy loaned us some money so that we could open a diner, you know, out there on the highway there. It was just a little place, you know, a short order place, hamburgers and fries and like that.
Well, I don't see anything bad about that. It sounds kind of sweet.
Well, it was kind of sweet. Well, as sweet as anything with Muriel ever could be, for about a week and a half. But then one night, we were closing up. The last customers had just left, and we were cleaning up. See, Muriel was cleaning up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I was scrubbing down the stove. And I had this hot grease there, which we had to keep. See, because the guy who owned the diner before, he said, you got to keep the hot grease, because the older the grease gets in a diner, the richer the fries taste. You see? So I had this pan of hot grease, see? And I was carrying it over, away from the burner, and I suddenly found myself looking right down the barrel of a .38 caliber revolver.
No.
Yes, that's the truth, honey. And the stick-up man said, stick 'em up. And that's exactly what I done. I went like that with my hands in the grease and all.
You're kidding. I mean, you had this grease in your hand. It just went flying over your head, grease splattered and spewing everywhere, on the counter, on the floor.
On Muriel.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, she was standing right there behind me. I didn't know it, and some of the grease splashed her on the face.
Oh, and that's how she got the scar. Now, wait a minute, Charlie. Let me get this straight, okay? You was standing there in the diner. Y'all just had a 2 or 3 weeks. She was taking the grease off the burner. Suddenly, this robber got... Charlie, that was on the Carol Burnett show. It was. I know it was. See, she comes back after 8 years to Harvey Korman, and she says, look, Buster, look what you done to me. You scarred me for life. And see, he's a big entertainer in the Ziegfeld Follies and like that. And she goes, and she's got this hat, you know, kind of over the side of her head, hiding the scar. And she comes up to him and she says, listen to me, buddy boy. You scarred me for life and your career is ruined. You is never going to be a star after I get through with you on account of this scandal. See? And, so, I mean, what was she? It was on the Carol Burnett show. I know it was. At least I think it was.
Honey, it happened to me. To me and Muriel, in real life. Like I said, truth is stranger than fiction.
Wow, that's even stranger than the Carol Burnett show.
See, and that's why Muriel wears her hair down over her face.
That's it, because she's trying to hide that scar. Oh, honey, that's awful. I mean, does it look that bad, what you done to her?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, honey. I don't think I scarred her up that bad.
Didn't you see it?
Well, that's the whole point. See, the thing is, there was so much going on then. I mean, the robber ran out with the money, and then I ran after the doctor, and the robber took a shot at me when I was running away. And by the time I got back, the doctor got there even ahead of me, and I just didn't barely get a glance at her, and they took her off to the hospital. Then I went to the hospital, and the hospital said that she was so upset that she didn't want me to see her. And they never did let me see her. They wouldn't let me visit her. And the next time I saw her was when she walked through this door claiming that I'd ruined her life.
You mean she thinks the scar ruined her life?
That's what she says. And she claims that she's going to get revenge on me, just like the Carol Burnett show.
Ooh. Really, Charlie? Really?
Did I ever lie to you? When did I ever lie to you?
Well, you sort of lied to me about Muriel.
I never said a word.
Well, now, Charlie, I mean, you didn't exactly say the truth. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you know, I don't want to be strict or nothing, but you weren't that truthful, you know? I mean, I never seen that side of you before, Charlie.
I knew it. I knew it. She's done it. That woman is the devil's right hand.
Charlie Hagers, I've never seen you act so unchristian about anybody. She's never said one bad thing about you, ever. Ever. I mean, the point is, honey, I'm not sure you really know your own life.
Who are we talking about, Muriel or you?
Muriel, honey. See, I just can't understand why you can't be nice to her. I mean, bless her heart, she really needs our sympathy right now. I mean, being scarred after that terrible accident and everything. I mean, honey, I know you didn't mean to do it. I know what it is, Charlie. I know what it is. You're feeling guilty about it.
What?
You're feeling guilty on account of what you done to her. See, it's just like Phil Waters on Better Hope for Tomorrow. See, he has a drinking problem, and he's still very much in love with his first wife, Sandy, or at least he was. But see, he and her sister Marie, they was out one night, and she got killed when they was out drunk driving. Well, he couldn't bear to even think about it, so what happens was he ended up hating Sandy. He felt so awful about what he'd done to her.
But I hated Muriel before.
See, you can't stand the guilt.
I can stand the guilt. I can stand the guilt. I can't stand the woman.
Honey, it's not that I don't understand. I mean, I don't like it, but I do understand. I mean, you're accusing Muriel on account of the fact that you're just upset about what you done to that poor little pitiful creature.
Pitiful like a rattlesnake.
Charlie, for the first time since I've known you, I'm very disappointed in you. If you will remember, we said in our marriage that we would always, a standard in this house, we would always try to live by the golden rule. Do unto others, Charlie, as you would have them do unto you. And you ain't doing unto Muriel like that, Charlie. For the first time, you're just a disappointment to me. Here, take your lunch. Better get on to work. You don't want to be late the first day back.
I'm not a disappointment. I'm not a disappointment. Gee, Muriel, you're doing your work. You're doing it good.
Any special thing you'd like to talk about, Loretta, honey?
Well, excuse me. As a matter of fact, when you were still asleep this morning, me and Charlie had a little talk. And it was kind of about you.
You know, when I woke up this morning, I had a feeling someone was talking about me. My right ear was just buzzing away.
It was about the, you know, the little accident.
Oh.
You know how you was come to get this scar, pardon the expression. You know about the hold up in the diner and everything.
The hold up? What hold up?
Well, you know when Charlie was standing in the diner and he had that pan of hot grease.
Bacon fat.
Bacon fat.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, whatever. And the robber comes in and says, hands up, you know, and Charlie accidentally throws the grease and burns your face, you know.
Is that the way Charlie told you it happened?
Yeah, and I'm real sorry to be, bringing up bad memories and everything, but, well, it was just curious to me how you used to get that scar and why you were wearing your hair that way, to cover it up and everything, right?
Heavens no, child. That's not the way it happened at all.
It isn't?
There was no holdup.
You mean Charlie didn't accidentally burn you in the diner?
Oh, he burned me all right. It wasn't any accident.
And you say there wasn't no holdup?
Right, there wasn't any holdup.
And what about a diner? I mean, was there a diner?
Oh, yeah, there was a diner. My daddy bought it for us.
Gee, I don't understand. I mean, if Charlie didn't accidentally burn you, I mean, how did it happen?
Well, I hate to contradict any old husband of mine, but since Charlie brought it up, you might as well know what really happened. We were working in the diner, and it was just about closing time.
Oh, yeah, no, Charlie did tell me about that, yeah.
Okay, and Charlie was taking the hot bacon grease, which he used to fry the potatoes in, off the burner.
Yeah, tell me that part.
All right, and he saw me changing from my Red Cross shoes, which I used to work in, into my open-toed wedgies, which I wore for going home in. And that's when we had the argument.
Oh, he didn't tell me about that part. You mean you had an argument about going home?
Oh, no. It was about the wedgies, about the open-toed wedgies. Charlie hated them. Open-toed wedgie monsters, he called them.
You mean you hated him so much that you had an argument about him?
Honey, when Charlie Haggers hated something, anything, he'd fight to the death about it.
Charlie?
Well, anyway, he started yelling about how I shouldn't wear open-toed wedgies. And I said, I always wear open-toed wedgies. And no man was going to tell me what kind of shoe to wear. And I guess Charlie just couldn't stand having a woman stand up to him like that. And that's when he threw the bacon grease. Thwap!
I mean, on purpose, Charlie? Oh, I can't believe that. I mean, Muriel, I can't believe it.
Now. Don't you go judging him too harshly. He knew not what he'd done. It happened a long time ago.
Charlie, hot grease. I don't know, Muriel. I mean, good gravy.
Mary, you sounded so upset on the telephone. I broke an appointment to come right over.
You broke an appointment?
Yes, with another client.
It wasn't with someone else's husband, was it?
Oh, I never discuss my other clients.
Mona,
Yes.
Tom said that he will cooperate with you fully.
Yes. We made a lot of progress last night, Mary. What is it, Mary? What's the trouble?
Mona, I looked up the word surrogate in the dictionary, and it said one who, or that which, is substituted for another.
That's right.
What are you gonna do with my husband? I mean, just exactly who are you going to surrogate for, Mona?
Well, Mary is finally asking a question that I've wanted her to understand since she met Mona. And I know it's a communication issue because Mary jumped at a chance for helping their marriage, helping Tom, helping Mary, without looking too close. Literally, Mary just had to look at a dictionary to figure out what the word surrogate meant. I know we didn't have Google at the time, but it's not that hard to basically look up what someone does. Or she could have asked, but, it would be less drama if she knew what was going on, I guess. So there's that whole thing with Mary and Tom Tom is happy to help, but also like attractive woman coming on to you, maybe to have sex. I think, I honestly do believe that Tom has good intent there. Like, I don't think he's just trying to get down with some hot lady. Like, he does care for Mary, and that's something that I felt even at their worst. I think that Tom cares for Mary. Of course, that doesn't mean that they don't have problems, and at their worst I would still like them to be much better to each other, but that's what's going on there. And then the other thing that we saw today was Muriel and Charlie's stories just do not match up. I'm gonna lean towards Charlie just because of what Muriel said to Charlie that we got to see, or that I got to see anyway. But Loretta doesn't have that information, so she has to make a judgment based on her gut, her feelings, and that's much more difficult. Well, everyone, that was the March 29th, 1976 episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you so much for joining me, for being company to me, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.